Righty hoody there. We got ourselves a manga reading log for November. This is actually the last one of November. It's a dying out breed, I know. This is what I read. You know, we've got the usual 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Of course, a perfect number as always. Let's get into the manga. Oh my god, it's a disaster. Fire Force, why aren't you reading it? Read it and talk to me about it in the comments down below because it is so good. Oh my god, they can't control it. I can't control where this story's going. We gotta get behind this in the comments section and figure this out. Anyways, really like this volume a lot. Arthur fighting Dragon. Wow, zowie. I love Dragon. Dragon's really cool. We get some insight here with these Guardians and kind of how they feel. We also get Charon kind of showing off his stuff. Really neat and amazing things here. We get this really surreal chapter. I kind of have to show this off here of the world before the Fire Force world and the world before that. You can see it's photorealistic, so just pictures of this woman. A wild and mind-blowing chapter. We can also see that there is, that's Tokyo. It says Tokyo over there. This big ass eye thing. We've got Dragon. He's on the moon. It's, he's in outer space. You see that? So this was a absolutely insane, wild chapter. I loved everything about it. I shouldn't say everything because I don't like that Shinra's not in it because Shinra is amazing and where are you, dude? I love you and you're gone? Oh, can't wait for his return. I also read School Frozen in Time, same artist as Your Lie in April, I believe. Let's see what it says. Yes, it does in fact say that somewhere on here probably. I think that's where this author is from anyway. This artist is from anyways, but the author is not someone that I recognize. They may have other works that I've never read, but hard for me to say that. Anyways, I do really enjoy this series. It's a complete, 4 volumes and it's done. The main plot is somebody committed suicide. Christmas break happened, and then after Christmas break, we come back, but when we get to the school, it turns out time stopped. And not only is time stopped, yeah, You're lying, April, but and they do Night Supremacy, which is the writer does a young novel, light novel. But not only is time stopped, but we can't leave the school, and there's only like 6 classmates, something around that number, and we have to figure out who the heck killed themselves because nobody can remember. And they think if they can remember who did it, they can get out of there, And so each person, one by one, kind of figures things out a little bit. I don't want to spoil too much about it. But it's kind of a fun mystery. Definitely has some, obvious themes of suicide in here. And issues, related to suicide and how it can affect others around you and that kind of thing. But it was a very interesting story. I did really enjoy it, and I do definitely recommend it. Some people just said it was okay. I actually thought it was really fun. There are some twists that I did see coming, but all of them, as we kind of start to learn more and more about these kids through some flashbacks and some trips down memory lane, we get opened up to their kind of story and what they're about. So I did really enjoy this, and I cannot wait to read Your Lie in April because the art was really good. But I wish I had the ability to read more light novels because I thought Mizuki Sujimura did a super good job. I really enjoyed this quite a lot. Fun thriller, fun mystery. Check it out if you like that kind of thing. Orient, volume 11 and 10 here. We are still somehow not done with this big ass invasion arc thing. So we are still trying to take down the Obsidian Order. I think that's what they're called. They are called the Obsidian Eight. With our main band here, the Usagi band, Usagi, which are mainly these people here. This is kind of showcasing who's going to fight who, as well as a really cool white aura Blade Soul, which was insane, just absolutely wild. to find that out, that the guy who been giving, Musashi a big kind of to-do, Shiro Inuaki, is a white blade user with demon metal blade called Mumoyo. Can move space, which we knew, and can just absolutely wipe people out. However, some of the people are so good that they can actually evade being dropped into a pit of lava and somehow find a way out of it. Don't really want to explain that one because it's kind of complicated, but it does somewhat make sense. I mean, not really, but this is a goddamn manga about samurai who ride helicopters and blade crystals, motorcycles, and things like that, and people who confuse into demons turn into this monster-ish thing. We have, I think, a pretty good chance that the next volume will end this arc, but again, I'm not sure. We get a little bit of information on the hierarchy of how blade souls work. So, some people are blue, yellow, green, red, and white, as we found out, and kind of what that means. So red is not the rarest, but it's pretty rare. Blue is the most common. So if you become blue, you end up not being super useful to the family, which is shocking. And red ends up being like the main heir. Forget who was born first. So that was kind of a twist to me. Eden Zero Volume 19. Eden Zero, we also actually are getting pretty close to the end. We're just wrapping up the Nero arc here. We see an overdrive here, and that was really cool to see Nero's overdrive. We kind of lose this arc, which is wild. So definitely check this out. Again, if you like Fairy Tail, it's not much like Fairy Tail, but this is a lot more like Rave Master than that, and it's been a blast. I've been really enjoying this series. Again, it's not it's not a sci-fi manga. It is a what does he call it? A action adventure manga in space. So don't expect a ton of sci-fi components, but there are sci-fi components in here. I think he just says it so that way if you say time travel doesn't make sense, then he can say, yeah, I told you so. 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, 7 Deadly Sins sequel. This was great. We figure out who Sin is finally. We see more of the Horsemen. You can see he's got a 8-legged horse right there, which is very cool. We kind of get to our last leg, and we end up needing some help. So we get some help, but I don't really want to spoil who we get help for. I'll spoil it next time. But, Sin helps kind of direct and keep Percival and his friends kind of together here, so that's really cool. We also find out what Howitzer's magic is, the fact that he can make things levitate and things like that. That was really cool. I cannot actually wait at all for the next volume. It does look like we're starting to get more into the heritage of the 7 Deadly Sins. You can see that in the preview. We see the Boar Hat Restaurant with Meliodas, it looks like, over there to the side. So the next volume is going to be a real good one, I have a feeling. This one was still really nice, though, because we do have a few revelations, especially with the, surprise of Sin. I did not expect that. Drip Drip, not a manga. I really enjoyed. I did like the Santa Claus short at the end, though. I thought that was interesting. But Paru Itagaki, who is the daughter of the creator of Baki, and Beastars and Beast Complex, made this series, this one-shot, and it seems like so that way they could get Santa Claus off the ground, which is interesting. I really wasn't that big of a fan of this. This girl, pretty much, if she touches something that's dirty or she perceives it's dirty, she gets a nosebleed. But she is trying to find love, aren't we all? And so every time she tries to get with a man, she just jumps right to sex, because she says, listen, if we can have sex, then I can actually be happy. We can have a happy life. And that means we're compatible, but she keeps going through this issue where everybody is causing her to have these nosebleeds. She goes through a ton of different guys, which is why I can't really show you any pages, because there's a lot of naked women in here. Really, it's just her, but still. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like not my thing, I guess. Maybe other people would like this more than me. But like every character in this whole manga just seemed like totally, what's the word for it? not unrealistic, but just evil or bad or not great people. And I like to think that there are more great people out in the world, but I don't know. It seems like they aren't. Even the main character I really felt like was really single-minded. She acted like she was out for love, but it really just seemed like she was trying to lose her virginity. And then at the end, she's like, oh, forget love. I don't need men anyways. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad that you got that. But like, what the heck was this whole manga, you know? Like, I don't know. It just like, she never resolved her bloody nose thing. I was really hoping she was kind of going to get over this past trauma with her mom, who kind of imposed this clean lifestyle onto her. But it doesn't go that road, seemingly, despite all that I wanted it to. So I guess I shouldn't imprint my own expectations on manga and, you know, where I think it's going to go, because it does end up ruining for me, but that is what happened here, and I think that's why I didn't like it as much. But yeah, when most of the men she meets are sleazy creeps, I mean, she's not wrong. They were all sleazy creeps and pretty bad people. But I did not super enjoy this manga. However, Finland Saga. Now, Finland Saga I like. We get Canute. Canute talks to our main man here, Thorfinn. Thorfinn gets beat up. You don't even recognize him hardly. That was crazy. We get this crocodile scene. This scene just reminds me of a crocodile. Okay? I know he's not really a crocodile, but he's trying to kill Canute. Canute's like, listen, I have an ally here. Maybe I don't need to do things the way that I was doing them. And like Thorfinn helped kind of remind him of that. Bug Eyes is there. Leif Erikson is there. You know, it's like Happy Leif Erikson Day. You know, I was stoked. So this is volume 7 or 14. You know, since these are tuned ones of the series. I really love where this is going. This arc has been fantastic, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. I mean, I think that this is the end of the farmstead arc here, because we're leaving you know, Kettle's little farmland here. So, I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to go to another farm. They might, I guess, but I doubt it. This was a lot better than, you know, the first arc for sure. And I did like the first arc quite a lot. Very vengeful, but this is more of what I wanted, especially with the manga with such a high prestige like Vinland Saga. This makes sense. I'm very happy to have picked this up and, you know, continue to read it, because I read 3 or 4 volumes to start with, and that kind of wraps up the main first arc. And this starts the next one, and I really wish I had little arc stickers off to the side here so I could kind of gauge where everything is, but this was excellent. Absolutely great read. This was a great arc. I cannot wait to read more Vinland Saga. I hope the quality continues. And that will do it for this week's manga reading log. I hope you guys enjoyed it today. This was a fun selection to talk about, especially Frozen in Time and Fire Force. Vinland Saga was great as well. I hope to see you next week, or actually later this week, for the ranking of November. So we'll see you there. Have a good rest of the beginning of December. Bye-bye.